stealth in video games. Let's see what he's got.
Stealth. The art of being completely undetected, as if you were never even there. Knock, knock.
What was that noise?
Me. I am that noise. I am the must have been the wind. I am the whistle from the hay bale. I am the one who crouches behind enemy and presses square many times. I am the shadows under light, the night vision goggle sight. I am the one whose footprints are these in the night. I am stealth. Man. Stealth.
Wait, I want to give my thoughts on stealth before I hear his, so I can fucking calculate. How do I feel about stealth in video games? Because sometimes it's so boring. I guess I like it. What I hate in video games when you have to crouch in a corner and wait for a guard who walks in a set circle pattern or square pattern to look away. I don't like that. That shit's boring. I mean, I think Hitman does stealth really well, where it's like your stealth is disguises in plain sight, but you can run at full speed and run all around. No, that's not Hitman. I mean, that's how you play Hitman. I don't think I've ever done that in Hitman. I don't just sit there and wait for somebody to... And also in Hitman, you can move the guards. That's the cool thing. People saying like Hitman... Yeah, it's not Hitman at all, bro. It's not what Hitman is like. I don't like... what I'm thinking of, the great example I'm thinking of is kind of like Metal Gear Solid, an example with the fucking box. But also I'm thinking of like in Zelda. Do you guys remember in... Maybe you don't remember. You know, we played Ocarina of Time. Remember in Zelda when you have to go through the palace gardens and it's just like fucking people walking in squares and you have to sit there and wait, and then I hate that. I thought that would be so annoying. Wind Waker has it. I think that's boring. I think that part sucks. I remember... What games have good stealth? I guess you'll tell me. I'll listen to this. I'll learn more. But I'm trying to think of like my preferences. I mean, I love Hitman. Hitman, I like the idea of disguises. I think that's really cool. I like the idea of always having something you can do. Dishonored. Oh, good example. I love Dishonored. Dishonored's a great stealth game. Yeah. What's cool about Dishonored? Oh, one other thing I fucking hate, and Zelda does this too, but other games where if you get caught, it's game over. If you ever do stealth and the player gets caught, that should be the beginning of a fun segment. That should be like, oh, now shit's in high gear. Now I have to fucking... But if you get caught and it's like, start over. Yeah, Wind Waker had this too, where like the thing would pop up and it's like, you're caught, start over. I hate that shit. That's lame.
This is a gaming concept so common.
Yeah, the Yiga Clan hideout is a perfect example. That was so trash. Where you have to you make one mistake, they see you, oh, caught, drag you to the door. That's lame.
You're probably shocked if you can't crouch behind enemy and press square in your padded out open world game. But stealth is a lot more than just a simple takedown or tacked on gimmick. It's a powerful tool that can completely change how a video game is designed and played. The act of sneaking around has had such a monumental and storied impact on the gaming medium. But when is stealth good? When is it bad? How do we make it better? How do we make it glad? It's important that we talk about it all right here, right now, but we also gotta be kind of quiet so we don't... Are you... What? Dude, I'm literally invisible!
Oh, Deus Ex is another great example. Someone in chat said it, so I'm yoinking, but Deus Ex, the first one, did stealth the best. Fucking computer's losing my mind. No, that wasn't even... That was the other... That was the Starforge. The Starforge kicked into fucking high gear, crashed, and put the fans to the... Yeah, Deus Ex is... I think... I like when stealth is an option the player almost comes up with themselves. Just to... Like, where firefights are so expensive or damaging or hard that you try to get around it. And Deus Ex is perfect for that, where it's like you have limited bullets, and you just don't want to fight these people. You can. There's no penalty. But you're just like trying to find ways around them. I think that's really cool. Last of Us is kind of like that. Although I feel like I fought everything. I never played Crysis, so I can't speak to that. But I like the idea of like limited resources making you decide when you want to sneak away, which is really cool. Did you ever play Splinter Cell? There was a game. Was it Splinter Cell? Where they had asymmetric 2v2, where there was like hunters and Dude, it's like so long ago, I barely remember it. But it was so... I played it at a friend's house. What game was this? Spies vs. Mercs. Yeah. Was that Splinter Cell? That game ruled. I only played it like for one weekend at a friend's place. We had such a blast. That was one of the most fun. Yeah, that was awesome. That was one of the coolest multiplayer experiences ever because you had different strategies and you had to... That was really cool. And like, yeah, because the spies were weaker, so they couldn't fight you head on. So they had to use stealth. That was cool. That was badass. That was like I wish more games did that. That was like... I'm kind of sick of games that are balanced. I don't know how you describe it. I want games where the two sides are so different they have to be completely different. They should be balanced like in terms of win rate, I guess. But I mean, like they shouldn't be balanced like they're the same. You know, it shouldn't be like chess where everyone's got the same pieces. I like asymmetrical. I think that's way cooler. I mean, the best example is StarCraft, where you know Zerg and Terran are 1,000% different. Every unit is different. The way they build is different. The way everything they do is different, but the game's still balanced. And so like the strategies are so unique. I love that.
Okay. So like I was saying, if you ask a gamer what the first stealth game is, you'll likely get some different answers. Oh, it's Castle Wolfenstein. That game let you wear enemy disguises. Nah, bro, the Book of Guinness of being world record green and sparkly says it's 005. That game had enemy vision cones. Assassin's Creed Altair Chronicles is a video game that I own. But the correct answer actually seems to be Shoplifting Boy in 1979. Predating even Pac-Man by a year, you take on the role of the titular iconic boy as you walk around a store avoiding this guy and stealing Thai dollar signs. This prehistoric, barely comprehensible game still successfully established two core tenets.
This game looks peak. I think what I should do instead of finishing any other game that I'm doing is spend all of November playing just Shoplifting Boy every day until I become the best at it. I think we should cancel all Marketing Mondays, cancel all discussions of business or politics. Every Clip Channel video should be a new Shoplifting Boy PB. Every day. And we just play some fucking... That'd be based.
Of the stealth genre. Don't get caught. Grab anything that isn't bolted to the ground. Beer before stealth, have good health. Stealth before beer, you're gonna have fear. Okay, so now let's fast forward a bit to 1987, and let me tell you something, man. You ever heard of a fucking Kojima production? Metal Gear is the godfather of all modern stealth games. To quote Mr. Ludonarrative Dissonance himself, Clint Hawking, without Metal Gear, there would be no stealth games.
Nailed it.
I don't think he's not British. More so than any game before, Metal Gear solidified stealth as its own genre. A lot of games at this point had mostly been about conflict. Shoot everything on the screen with your big gun. Holy shit, you're huge. But Metal Gear said, you're not some super soldier with infinite ammo. You're a fragile little snake and you actually want to avoid combat as much as possible. Quietly dispatch guards. Acquire gadgets like suppressors to use guns without alerting everyone. Metal Gear was originally supposed to be a combat-heavy shooter, but because the MSX couldn't have all these bullets and enemies on screen at once, Kojima, in a stroke of genius, utilized his limitations and realized the power of disempowerment. And remember that word, write it down, because it's very important.
And does anyone else think that perhaps now that Kojima is famous and gets infinite budget for every project that he's lost those limitations? And somehow his art has slightly suffered? Much like George Lucas in the prequels versus the originals when he had no one to say no.
Important to me in my invisible body. My man is horny as hell, and this is not how humans talk, but man, I so deeply cherish him and his productions, okay? Don't forget, they're his productions, okay? Now let's fast forward a bit to the most important year for stealth games and maybe just all video games in general. 3 sacred seminal stealth games released in 1998, and every modern stealth mechanic can likely be traced back to one of these 3 games. Metal Gear Solid, Thief, and my boy Metal Gear Solid is a straight-up gaming monument for
I forgot about Thief. I think I played Thief when I was very, very young. I thought it was cool, and then when I was like 20, I tried to reinstall it or play the remastered, and it was like, this game sucks. This game's so fucking old. Everything's so bad. But I don't know that like, it could be a wrong take.
So many reasons. The cinematic presentation and voice acting, the creative fourth wall breaks, part where Otacon pees himself and then you let a wolf pee on you. Come to think of it, Kojima Productions kind of have a lot of pee-type beats. But the Soliton radar and predictable enemy AI that gave you clear chirps on what they're thinking or doing, the game had an amazing sense of feedback. You always understood what was going on. Thief showed us how tense and atmospheric a stealth game could be when played from a first-person perspective, giving the player a lot of freedom while also disempowering them, there's that word again, to instill a palpable sense of danger. Big interactable maps with mechanics like light and sound engaging with the player's abilities.
Okay, that's badass. I just watched him knock out a torch to turn the lights off. That's fucking cool. But it looks, the game, I think I'm a kind of a graphics fucking snob sometimes, bro. Sometimes. I think the game's just ugly as sin. But that's cool mechanics.
An environment, an immersive sim, if you will, and you will. I checked.
What is Huel? Genuine question. Do you know the character Huel Babineau from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul? He started his own drink company. You know how The Rock has his tequila? This is Huel's tequila. It's actually a really delicious alcoholic beverage. And I, of course, took a sponsor because I love to get drunk on stream.
See him right there. Oh, he's kind of coming. You're kind of coming at me fast. Slow down. Ah! Drop the bass. Yes. Oh my God. Tenchu gives you nightmares if you watch your brother play it at a young age, and prioritized freedom of movement within a 3D stealth sandbox, letting the player parkour across rooftops and do flashy, cool, big sword press square behind enemy sword moves. That sounds a little bit familiar. Scratch his head. Fucks. Okay, history lesson is over, but let me ask you something, man. What's gonna happen when an enemy... Oh my God! I'm literally a phantom menace! Getting caught in a stealth game never feels good, but it especially doesn't feel good if you don't fully understand why or how you got caught. It doesn't matter if the rules are unrealistic, it matters if they're consistently unrealistic. I don't care if the enemy AI is dumb as hell, that's fine. I care if they're consistently dumb as hell in a way that I can predict and manipulate. Do guards look up?
That's a good point. And I think one of the points that works in Hitman's favor is that the weaknesses of the AI are exploitable in a very fun way. You know, they're always going to check out that fucking coin you throw. But it's good because if they didn't, it would be impossible to move around and so, you know, it gives the player something to do at all times.
Do guards look down? Will guards hear me if I run? Will a guard see through my disguise if I stand too close to them and whisper my birthday? It's December 28th, by the way. If one person sees me, then why does everyone in the galaxy know exactly where I am now? If the rules aren't consistently made clear, then playing the game will feel like trying to solve a jigsaw puzzle, but the pieces keep changing size and color and shoot you with glocks. It's so much better when the game clearly communicates that, hey, this is where the enemy thinks you are with, you know, a clear visual cue, or the enemy yells, I think she's over there! The radar in Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 is great for giving you clear feedback, but you can also end up playing a lot of those games just staring up at this square. It's the same with games that have that magical X-ray see-through walls vision. It's very easy to end up playing through a very beautiful game through this ugly lens, which just is not ideal. In a social stealth puzzle box game like Hitman, the X-ray vision makes a bit more sense because you're trying to keep track of so much information at once. But for more active, like action stealth games, I think Far Cry actually established...
I was about to be mad at him, but he saved it. I was about to be mad at him. I was about to lose my shit, but then he said, you know, it makes sense for Hitman. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Base. Well said. Saved it.
Established a really sophisticated solution with the marking mechanic that Metal Gear Solid 5 also later adopted. It feels a lot more immersive and engaging to actually have to pay attention and clock the enemies yourself, but then the game gives you an assist and says, okay, we'll help you keep track of everything now. But even with all this help, sometimes you might still mess up and get caught from the shadows. I've been here the whole time, that's right, and my greatest stealth moves that this video is actually about difficulty.
Okay.
If I had a nickel for every time I talked about Anthony Birch on this channel, I think I'd have 3 of the nickels. It's not my fault, okay? If MFs like him and Ego Raptor didn't make videos like this, MFs like me would probably be working at Chili's right now. And I'd be wearing fucking Altair's robes too, talking about, oh, you want a refill? Boom! Anthony has a great video on difficulty where he talks about Metal Gear Solid 3 and how playing on the highest difficulty of Extreme actually forced him to play a stealth game like a stealth game. AKA, usually when you get caught in Snake Eater, you can pretty easily just CQC everyone and run to the exit. But on Extreme, you die a lot faster, so you can't as easily just brute force your way through. This one simple change forced him to actually utilize all of the different Kojima productions at his disposal and improvise creative stealth solutions. In this right here, this holy union of stealth and difficulty with a side piece of improv is incredible to experience, but unfortunately not always the default experience. Ghost of Tsushima, a game that I haven't talked about a lot on this channel, but one that I deeply cherish. Just look at this shot. Yeah, that's gonna pump the gas, all right. Playing on normal difficulty the first time, I had zero issue just sprinting into combat all of the time. And as great as the combat is, Ghost, being a disciple of drop the bass Tenchu, it also has a lot of flashy, fluid, stealth ninja stuff. Parkour, grapple hook, chain assassination, kunai, flute, songs.
This game has a chain assassinate button? I thought I wouldn't like it, but now I think I might. It sounds sick as fuck. That sounds like it rules.
Bow to your sensei. But, like, you don't really need to use any of that stuff. On lethal difficulty, though, it's a completely different situation. The enemies now kill you in like 1 to 2 hits, but also you kill them in like 1 to 2 hits. The kunai goes from being a fun, cute little toy to an essential difference between life and death. A smoke bomb isn't just a cool move, it is the key to surviving an onslaught of enemies. Every technique point spent can drastically change your chances of survival. This kind of increase in difficulty is the right kind of increase in difficulty, not just for stealth games, but for all games in general. Don't just make the enemies spongier with way more health. Raise the stakes in a way.
Fucking hate that. Oh, I hate when games make the harder difficulty just make the fucking, just triple the health pools. It's the worst. It's the laziest, worst, not fucking fun. Like, let's rush this out because most people don't play the hard mode anyway, so we don't give a shit. What else do they do? They could just, even just increasing their damage is already a better way to do it, because then the player can still kill them in cool, fast ways, but they can't make any mistakes or they die. That alone, if you're going to be lazy, just up the damage. Upping the health, Resident Evil did this, and it was so annoying because everything just took more shots to the head. It wasn't like you can limit the number of bullets, that's fine. You can find ways to make it so the player has to be more precise, but if they're still playing precise and then they don't get any reward for it, it makes the game worse.
That pushes the player toward using all of the tools in their tool belt. And for most stealth games, that magic word, say it with me, you wrote it down, is disempowerment. You're much more likely to utilize stealth in Sekiro for these exact reasons. Everything will kill the S word out of you if you don't. The S word is sword.
Sekiro's the best fucking game. I think it really is. It's the best game I've ever played on stream, for sure. In terms of games that I've played and completed on stream, there's no better one than Sekiro. It's the best game. I don't know if it's the best game I've played in my life, but it could be. It just feels so complete. You don't have anything you would change. So good. And yeah, he's right. I mean, I remember like anytime you could find a way to sneak behind a boss and get one quick strike or a mini boss and get one of the red circles gone, you would do it because the advantage was so big to you.
One of the greatest stealth levels.
Hollow Knight? I think Sekiro's a better game than Hollow Knight. It's obviously very close. Put more hours into Hollow Knight. I mean, it's a 1A, 1B Shaq and Kobe situation, but I'd probably give the edge to Sekiro. Just I think it's, I'm not the biggest Metroidvania person. I think Hollow Knight is so good that it makes me push through that stuff, but I'm not a huge, find the fucking stealth boots or the jump boots to go, or whatever. I don't love that stuff, but the game's so beautiful and the bosses are so good, and it's like obviously an amazing game in every level, but I think Sekiro's a little better.
Ever, all gillied up in Call of Duty 4, has extremely punishing combat if you...
Hours is the last way? Exactly, yeah. Number of hours is not a way to judge it, because I have more hours in Hollow Knight, and I also have more hours in League of Legends. But according to that, League of Legends and Shardbound are the two greatest games ever made. And that's not how I really rank it. True though. Yeah. What else do I have? A lot of hours. I have a lot of hours in a lot of stupid games.
You get caught because you are severely outnumbered, motherfucker. Sneak around. Dang. Okay, I guess I need to run away and hide in this thing. What is this called? Getting caught sucks, but it doesn't always mean the fun part has to be over. In games like Far Cry, Metal Gear Solid 5, the Last of Us games, gameplay can exist in this constant flow between stealth and combat, leading to some really great improv moments where you're just doing whatever.
You might mention it or you might not, but like this is why Hitman is a great game for everyone of all skill levels. If you ever watch someone casually play Hitman, they try to be stealthy, then they fuck it up, then shit goes haywire, then they're freaking out, then that's so fun. That's why I like watching Squeaks or NL play. That is the fuck. Oh, he says that. Okay, never mind.
Whatever you can to survive. This is why the Last of Us games on survival difficulty have amazing stealth gameplay, and it actually feels like the way the game is meant to be played, the way that you're, trying to negotiate which resources you're going to use because there's actual stakes. And it's the same thing with multiplayer stealth. Some of the most thrilling stealth moments in gaming can actually be found in online games. And I don't just mean Ass Creed or Splinter Cell or Metal Gear Online, as great as those multiplayer modes are. In a battle royale, you're literally scrambling to survive using anything that you can find. Whether it's a bush in Fortnite or a ghillie suit in PUBG, playing stealthily can hold a huge...
Wasn't there like a 40-year-old dad who got to the highest rank in Fortnite just camping the bush? He just did it every time. He would sit in the middle of the map with a bush camp dad. That's a legend. That guy's a fucking legend. He would just wait until there was only one person left, then he would try to snipe him. And he did it every game, all day, every day, until he got to the highest rank. He was playing with the most cracked out 12-year-olds, and he got to the highest level. I think that's so based.
Huge advantage. Thinking on your feet to trick actual other human players and prop hunt is full-on yes and improv. But as great as those improvised moments are, sometimes stealth games will actually push the player...
Dude, I forgot about prop hunt. We used to do the prop hunt riddles. Me stands in Lud. Those were, and Mango. The Witch-It. It was Witch-It. We would do prop hunt Witch-It riddles. Those were fun. That was fun.
Away from improvising, whether they mean to or not.
That was like 3 years ago.
Oftentimes, a stealth game can make the player feel inclined to reload a save after getting caught. The Dishonored series is a really interesting example. I've enjoyed playing Dishonored the most after cranking up the difficulty to at least hard so that the combat has higher stakes, cough cough, disempowerment cough. But Dishonored also lets you save whenever you want. And at the end of every level, you also get this rating screen, which shows how many people saw you and how many people you killed, which changes your chaos rating, which then changes the story. Don't get me wrong, I think Dishonored really does want you to be able to play however you want. And I think it's a common misconception that a high chaos run is the bad ending and a low chaos run is a good ending. It's not good or bad, they're just different. But I do think that when you frame it in these terms and you have a rating screen paired with the ability to save scum, it might subconsciously push a player toward a playstyle that's, oh shit, I got caught and I killed someone. Okay, time to reload the save. But I find it's so much more liberating to just let things play out and see what emergent gameplay can happen. The new Hitman games have the same thing. Amazing, complex stealth sandboxes that subtly discourage the player from experiencing emergent gameplay moments because, oh no, my rating at the end will be bad if I do this fun thing, so better just reload the save. And all of this, this entire video was really just an
Wait, is he saying, let me hear this take honestly. Just my only thing I'll say is I've never seen someone play Hitman and care about it. I'll watch it, but I've never seen someone play Hitman and be like, oh, I fucking started shooting it up, I better stop.
Moments because, oh no, my rating at the end will be bad if I do this fun thing, so better just reload the save. And all of this, this entire video was really just an excuse so I could say the following thing. Hitman Freelancer is the greatest stealth game ever made. Everything. Literally everything I've talked about, it's in this game. Freelancer is the roguelike add-on that uses all of the same levels, but gives you random objectives and targets across a series of consecutive campaigns. There's no saving and reloading, it's just you, your targets, and a bunch of optional incentives to make extra money so that you can buy better gear to help you throughout your run. Freelancer's random objectives pushes you into situations that you would likely never get into while playing the base game. We'll give you extra money if you wear a funny disguise and throw an explosive baseball at at this guy. Oh, you want me to use a goddamn katana? All right, shout out to Tenchu, drop the base, let's figure out how to do this. And because you can't just reload a save, getting caught in Freelancer feels extremely tense because if you die, you fail the campaign.
Yeah.
But because Hitman's enemy AI and disguise system are so fun to play around with and manipulate, even getting caught can turn into this fun game of cat and mouse. The overall feeling of Freelancer is who gives a shit about a rating, just get the job done however possible. Freelancer is like a goddamn comedy club with how much improv is going on. All right, so in summary, what did we learn today? I am invisible, and there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, W Hitman Glaze. But what's funny is I'm still stuck on the last part. I think I don't knock the base game of Hitman for having a rating system, because I just don't think it doesn't punish you in any way. So it's like a fun thing to shoot for. But maybe people don't play, they don't enjoy the game because of that. I hope that doesn't turn people off of the game because they think they can't get a 5-star rating. I'm a casual. Like when I watch like my little brother play or anyone play, I feel like they try for a good rating for their first playthrough, but they don't really care. Like they'll figure out how to kill the 2 targets and they'll get out and they'll win and they're happy. And if they want to go for a high rating later, then that's fine. But I don't see people saves come on like their first playthrough to try and keep 5-star the whole way through. I think that's when I first played Hitman in the game, I came back later and enjoyed it regardless. So is the story interesting at all? I like the story, but I don't think it's like a masterpiece. It's just a fun story. Like Hitman, you don't get a different ending. You don't get, the only thing that happens is the rating. You still move on to the next level. Nothing, all you do is unlock more stuff. You only get rewarded really. I don't really care, but getting no stars hurts a little. I guess there's something to that. But I also feel like if you didn't have the no stars, then some people would never realize how fun the game could be. Because people think, oh, if my only goal is to kill the targets, it's actually, like, the thing about Hitman is like, every mission is actually really easy for anyone, even a basic player. All missions are easy if your only goal is to kill them. You can just walk in, you can just shoot them, make a big scene, walk out. Like, nobody would have a challenge. But once you see how easy that is, you realize, oh, the thrill, the fun comes from doing it in different, fun, more creative, more zany, more wild ways. The issue was watching good people play Hitman and then trying it myself. Felt like 5-star was the only way to enjoy the game. Yeah, that's a fair criticism. I'm now seeing that. Like his point put me onto that idea. Because I'm just trying to think of like how I can make Hitman more interesting and appealing to new players. And I've always done it by showing off some of the cool strategies, but I'm wondering if, I don't know, I'm wondering.
There is unfortunately no cure for that. B, disempowerment is a very powerful tool in gaming. C, emergent gameplay featuring improvised creative stealth solutions will always bang. And D, Kojima Productions are in fact productions by Hideo Kojima. Thank you so much for watching my video. What are some of your favorite stealth games? I'm realizing right now that I literally didn't really talk about like horror stealth games after mentioning that Thief was like started first-person horror and there's like Alien Isolation, Resident Evil and all that stuff. Go watch a YouTuber play Amnesia, I don't know. Yeah.
Amnesia is a great example. Amnesia is one of the great stealth games ever because, the only thing about Amnesia is the game is so fucking scary and so awesome because your character is so weak and you're always afraid and you're always running until you realize that it doesn't matter if they see you.